You get in the car, the driver seems normal. You put your headphones in, and then you notice something in the rearview mirror that makes your stomach drop. Most of us have done it dozens of times without thinking twice. You open the app, you request a ride, a stranger picks you up and drives you wherever you need to go. It feels safe because it's supposed to be safe. But the 3 stories I'm about to share with you will make you think twice the next time that car pulls up and the driver smiles at you through the window. These are real accounts from real people, and none of them expected their night to end the way it did. Story 1. He already knew my name. I want to start by saying I'm not someone who scares easily. I grew up in a rough part of the city. I've dealt with difficult people my whole life. I'm not paranoid and I don't panic. But what happened to me on a Tuesday night in November changed something in me permanently. I had been out with coworkers for a going-away party. Nothing crazy, just dinner and a couple of drinks at a bar downtown. I left around 11:30 p.m. It was cold. I didn't feel like waiting for a bus, so I requested an Uber. The app showed a gray Honda Civic, driver name Marcus, 4.8 stars. The car pulled up within 3 minutes. I confirmed a license plate, got in the back seat, put my seatbelt on and said, "Hey," the way you do when you don't really want to have a conversation. Marcus said hey back. He seemed normal, middle-aged, quiet, baseball cap. We drove in silence for about 4 minutes. Then he said, without turning around, "Long night, Sarah?" I felt my whole body go still. I never told him my name. The app only shows drivers your first name if you message them. I hadn't messaged him. I had just tapped request and gotten in. I told myself, maybe he saw it somewhere on the app. Maybe I was overthinking it. Then he said, "Your office is on Clement Street, right? Long commute." I don't know how to explain what that felt like. It wasn't just fear. It was the specific horror of realizing someone knows things about you that you shouldn't. I looked at my phone. The app showed we were heading in the right direction, but I quietly opened Google Maps just to track our route myself. For a few minutes, everything seemed fine. Then he turned left when he should have gone straight. I said, "I think you missed the turn." He said, "Shortcut." My heart was pounding. I typed out a message to my friend Amy. In Uber, gray Civic, plate number. I listed it. "If I don't text in 10 minutes, call me." I looked up and realized I had no idea where we were. The street had no lights. I grabbed the door handle. Then his phone rang through the car speakers. He answered it, a woman's voice, his wife by the sound of it, asking when he'd be home. He told her 2 more rides, maybe an hour. Completely normal conversation. 2 minutes later, we pulled up directly in front of my apartment building. He said, "Have a good night." I got out without saying a word and went straight inside. I reported the ride immediately through the app. I explained everything, the name, the detail about my office, the wrong turn. Uber's response was that the driver had excellent ratings and no prior complaints. They did nothing. I deleted the app that night. To this day, I don't know how he knew those things about me. Maybe he recognized me from a previous ride I had forgotten about. Maybe there's a more disturbing explanation. What I do know is that I will never get into a stranger's car alone at night again. That story still unsettles me every time I read it. But the next one is different, because in this case, the person who requested the ride wasn't the only passenger. Story 2. There was someone in the trunk. This happened to a Lyft driver named Daniel. He shared this account himself. Daniel had been driving for Lyft for about 2 years. He drove mostly weekend nights, better tips, more rides. He knew the city well and had given thousands of rides without a single serious incident. He described himself as someone who had seen everything: drunk passengers, crying passengers, people eating full meals in his back seat. Nothing rattled him. Until the night he picked up a man named Cole. It was around 1 a.m. on a Saturday. Cole requested a ride from a quiet street in a residential neighborhood. Not a bar, not a restaurant, just a street. Daniel pulled up. Cole got in. He was well-dressed, calm, and polite. He said he'd been visiting a friend. They drove. About 7 minutes into the ride, Daniel heard something. A sound from the trunk. He thought it was something shifting, A bag, maybe. A spare tire loose. He ignored it. Then he heard it again, louder this time. A knock. 3 slow knocks from inside the trunk. Daniel's eyes went to his rearview mirror. Cole was staring at his phone, expression completely blank. He said, "Hey, did you hear that?" Cole didn't look up. He said, "What?" Daniel kept driving, but his mind was racing. He'd never had anyone in his trunk. The trunk wasn't accessible from the back seat of his car. Whoever or whatever was back there had gotten in before Cole got in, or Cole had put them there. He made a decision. He calmly said there was a warning light on his dashboard and he needed to pull over and check the car. Cole said nothing. Daniel pulled into a gas station. He got out slowly, walked to the back of the car and opened the trunk. Inside was a woman. She was conscious, zip ties on her wrists, a piece of cloth tied around her mouth. Her eyes were wide and she was shaking. Daniel didn't hesitate. He ran to the gas station attendant and screamed for them to call 911. When police arrived, Cole had disappeared on foot the moment Daniel had gotten out. The woman told police Cole had abducted her from a parking garage earlier that evening. She had no idea where he was taking her. Cole was arrested 4 days later, 2 states away. Daniel still drives for Lyft, but he told the interviewers something that stayed with me. He said, "I always knock on my trunk before every single ride. Every single one. And I listen for a knock back." Take a moment to think about how close that came to a completely different outcome. Now, the last story I have for you tonight is perhaps the most personal, and in some ways, the most disturbing, because the danger didn't end when the ride did. Story 3. He drove past my stop. This was submitted by a woman named Priya. She was 24 at the time, graduate student. She took Ubers regularly, late-night study sessions at the library, early morning labs. She was smart and careful. She always shared her ride status with a friend. On this particular night, she had been at the university library until around midnight. She requested a Lyft home. The driver, she called him T in her account, arrived quickly and seemed fine. Quiet. Older. No issues at first. She put her earbuds in and watched the route on her phone. When the car was about 1 block from her apartment, it didn't slow down. It kept going. She took out an earbud and said, "My stop is right back there." T said, "I know a better route." She felt a cold unease. She said, "No, please just drop me at the location in the app." He didn't respond. She opened the app to cancel or report the ride. The app froze. She typed a quick message to her friend, "Something is wrong." She looked outside. Now they were in an area she didn't recognize, industrial, no pedestrians, poor lighting. She made a decision that she later said saved her life. She called 911 out loud, loud enough for T to clearly hear her, and said, "I am in a Lyft and my driver is not taking me to my destination. I am going to give you my location now." The car immediately slowed down. T pulled over and told her to get out. She got out. She stayed on the phone with the 911 operator and gave her exact location. Police arrived within minutes. When they ran T's information, they found his Lyft account had been created under a different name. The real account holder had reported his profile stolen 3 weeks earlier. T was not a registered Lyft driver. He was never identified. Priya's advice, which she shared publicly afterwards, was this: before you get in, confirm the plate, the car color, and the driver's face matches the photo. And the second something feels wrong, make noise. Call someone. Don't stay quiet trying not to be rude. Your safety is more important than being polite. That stuck with me. Because in every single one of these stories, there was a moment, just one brief moment, where the victim's instincts told them something was wrong. The ones who listened to that instinct made it out. These stories are a reminder that convenience can sometimes come with a cost we never agreed to pay. Stay aware. Trust your gut. And the next time a car pulls up and the driver smiles at you, take an extra second. Make sure everything checks out. Good night.